I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time. I'm a person who will spike the conversation, who will get politics rolling and stimulate new questions and new answers to our current political dilemma facing our nation. I believe I have a keen understanding of the economy and how to improve where we're at relative to other nations around the world. I believe that our goal at America's Third Party was to create a very strong platform in which would propel the American people forward with new opportunities and a new possibility of creating a better nation, a cleaner environment, and less war. I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time.
Welcome to the show. Good evening. I'm David Sponheim, and this is Freedom Friday. I'm ready to go. Every day is another fantastic experience to interact with all of the chatters all across the globe. I'm really kind of excited about the fact that we have this venue of reaching out and talking about issues and sharing links. It's exactly what I had envisioned when I was a young person and I heard about the internet. And it's kind of a migration of the internet itself. The rich internet platforms that we use that have been evolving, they actually haven't been evolving as fast as we expected them. We expected more shows like this Vaughn show and other shows to pop up. But over the past 5 or 6 years, we've seen a lot of people fail at this attempt to create an interactive show. Some people think it's the Flash software that was implemented that was creating security leaks. Other people believe that censorship is going on and they're trying, the mainstream media doesn't want this to grow because this does pose a danger to the news agencies, ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, and Fox. So in lieu of what we're doing, we're kind of riding the edge of what we can do. And we're always looking for new opportunities to share the show. So we have another show at YouTube that plays live with a chat room. We have a YouNow show now available to people with a few people in there right now asking questions. We are open to questions on politics, on international affairs, on social issues like capital punishment, abortion. These are issues we want to talk about on a nightly basis. And we're the only venue out there really that does a daily show in the center of the political spectrum. So I'm not afraid to talk about issues on the left or the right, and we're willing to embrace both sides at various times. Yeah, well, I'm not really a big YouTube fan because of the censorship that went down. Today, one of our big supporters, Scissorfight, who's one of our link providers, has had his entire YouTube site taken down and destroyed, censored. They pulled it for no reason, just that it violated guidelines, and they won't tell him what the guidelines are. He had nearly 1,000 subscribers that he'd earned for a long, long time of rebuilding after his last time, and then they dumped him again. So he has to rebuild another one. It's just crazy. And now people are looking at other ways of storing videos, like vid.me and keepvid.com. All these other venues are sparking new opportunities. So we're going to see how this internet morphs around the censorship that's been going on heavily by the elitists. They said bullying and harassment. You weren't bullying anyone. You were talking about the simple fact that we still don't have any evidence of the church shooting. To this day, we still don't see any bodies. We saw a yellow plastic bag on the lawn, and then we saw, the weirdest thing is we saw footage from other events where people are being shuttled away from a crime scene, cut into this one. So they actually use stock footage of people being taken away from a crime scene to talk about the church shooting. And the worst news of all is that people have been looking up the names of the alleged victims, the 26 dead, and they never existed. You know how you can look people up online and find out various background information? Not one of the decedents existed in that city or anywhere in that county. Yeah, this is my real hair. I just, comb it. Yeah. And there's Russian ads on Vaughn, and we think the Russians are paying Mark to censor us here. I haven't heard about Kelly and Frederica, but John Kelly is making some statements that are pretty weird. He's talking to the U.S. press that they better behave when they're in China. Like telling our press that we have to suck up to a country that censors its own people. John Kelly was recently referred to by Sarah Sanders, this press secretary for Donald Trump, in a way that anyone who questions John Kelly, being he's a general, would be inappropriate to question him on issues about facts that he may or may not have said. That's what Sarah Sanders said. It's just crazy that she or anyone in Trump's administration would continually go against the vein of free press and free journalistic endeavors, telling people to stop asking questions, to behave around the Chinese censors. I mean, come on. And Louis C.K. has admitted that he's actually inappropriately got near women. 5 women have come forth saying he showed them his penis. Other people are upset, but now one of his movies has been yanked 1 week before release. This man has openly admitted to doing this, and he admits that he's made mistakes and he's misused his role. I think it's a pretty strong position he's taking, considering not many people are actually admitting their malfeasance in a big way. Dustin Hoffman acknowledged that he had inappropriate behavior around a 17-year-old on a set of Death of a Salesman. But this director is his new movie, I Love You, Daddy, will not hit theaters. Not be moving forward with release. The movie's about a successful TV writer's daughter dating a much older filmmaker. And Lewis played the TV writer, and there at least one scene where his parents pretend to masturbate in front of people. Well, I don't think that your time in Hollywood is going to continue at this rate, KC. Thanks for sharing. TMZ. Well, it's inappropriate to ask a woman, if you're a director, if they want to see your penis. It's just not something you should ever bring up. Apparently, some of these men are so sex-starved that they engage in this behavior, or maybe they just can't get it up. I'm being frank here. A lot of men womanize because they can't get it up. It's an overcompensation because they can't perform sexually. So they go around hitting on every woman that walks just to see if that new one will, help their chances of not having penile erectile dysfunction. I'm serious. It's an unknown fact that men who womanize are oftentimes incontinent and have a urination problem as well. Okay, nuclear site heavily contaminated, deformed babies. We just talked about the Hannaford Nuclear Repository in Washington before the show started to record tonight. I was discussing the terrible waste that our government and our state government in Washington aren't dealing with. But North Korea apparently has a nuclear test site that's heavily contaminated. And recently 200 men died outside of this uranium testing center that Kim Jong-un has put together. The test site is Kill Jew. That's a pretty weird name for a test site. Kill Jew. North Hamgyong province is turning into a wasteland after 6 underground nuclear tests, according to witness accounts. That's kind of an ironic name for a test site. It's Kill Jew. It definitely killed some people. The Research Association of Vision of North Korea, which includes North Korean defectors, interviewed 21 defectors who used to live in Kilju in the last couple of years. One said, "I heard from a relative in Kilju that deformed babies were born in hospitals there." Another said people in Kilju drink water that comes from Mount Mantap in Punjirai, where the nuclear test site is located, and they're worried about contamination from radiation. You think? Underground wells dried up after the 6 nuclear tests, so the water is dried up after the testing. Due to the collapsed ground layer, fissures must have formed underneath, leading to contamination of the underground layer and water supply. Well, this is what happens when people have a mad race to destroy each other. And this is another reason why we need to broach the terrible divide between our country and North Korea, which has been left by Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and now Donald Trump. Somebody said, why are 95% of all TV producers and actors and comedians and everybody in Hollywood Ashkenazis? Because they have a network of people that like the money. They like to make money, and they keep their network among their own people. That's why the Nazis are running Hollywood, yeah. There's some good people in Hollywood. I really believe that some of the people are trying to stand up to this, like Corey Feldman. He's not some sort of an Ashkenazi trying to profit. He did put a price tag on his information, but he wants to make a movie. He wants to expose this Pizzagate-like environment in Hollywood. And another thing, I don't understand why Twitter and Reddit still outlaw the use of the word Pizzagate. I thought our country was dedicated to freedom of speech and free journalism and the free press. I don't understand how anything could be censored, like a word like Pizzagate. He got about 250,000 of the 10 million. Well, if he does the movie, yeah. Well, I'm not here to castigate Jewish people. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm anti-Zionist. I believe that Zionism is ostensibly the New World Order. Zionism is essentially now, it's no longer just the formation of a state of Israel, which originally that's what Zionism meant. Now I believe it's just the New World Order. It's a group of very rich monarchists and Ashkenazis, like the Rothschild, that want to control the destiny of mankind. I never did that on Skype, ever. And I'm not Jewish. I hope you know that I'm definitely against anti-Semitism here. Well, Zionism in a nutshell was the formation of Israel. Now it's become global domination by rich Ashkenazis. Yeah, that's what it was when Hitler was around. People who don't know this, I must tell you that Hitler was Jewish. Or let's just say he was an Ashkenazi. His father was Jewish. His mother was his sister, who had sex with his father. Anyway, it's a long story, but he was a Zionist. He did everything he could to create the State of Israel, because remember, Hitler was after the Ark of the Covenant, which they believed was stored in Jerusalem. So after the World War II, they had accomplished their goal of killing off so many Jewish people so they could justify the creation of Israel. And that's just a reality. We're moving on now. Israel's a great nation, and the people there are beyond compare. We've got the most patents of any nation coming out of Israel. Very intelligent nation, and certainly has the right to be there now. Remember, we have ascended to this position. We can't go back to pre-Yom Kippur days, pre-1967. It's not going to happen. So those of you who keep running your mouth off about a Hala hoax, you're wasting your time, because number one, nobody's going to deny the Holocaust happened, except for you, of course. And two, we need to move on and deal with the real threat of Zionism, which is global dominance by one group of people. That's the bigger problem. It's not going back to pre-1967, territorial boundaries. That's going to be an Arab-Israeli issue. That's a separate issue. Okay. Glad I could clear that up. It's always nice to talk about this stuff. I'm going to take a look at some links that I have in my collection here. But before I do, I have to clear up some of my crap. I've got so much crap on Trump, it's ridiculous. So I've got a Trump Sucks collection on my Flipboard. Yeah. I'm going to find a way of sharing my collection. This is a story I want to put to rest. I just want to remember to tell you that Trump will not show his 2016 tax return. He will not in any way show it. He's also hiding the 10 years of tax returns that he's had, which would show Russian involvement. And I'm surprised that Robert Mueller hasn't added the tax returns to the list of reasons he should indeed reveal them. Trump said he was going to reveal his tax returns, and he won't. So I'm going to put that in the Trump Sucks section too. There it is. Added Trump Sucks. All right. So I'm arranging my links now with Flipboard. And the Democrats, this is a story I kind of want to put to rest, but they believe that Jeff Sessions committed perjury, especially in lieu of Papadopoulos admitting that he talked to Jeff Sessions about the Russian involvement, which goes against what Jeff Sessions said to the Senate subcommittee, which Al Franken operated. So I'll add that to Russian corruption, GOP. Jeff Sessions. I'm keeping these in sections so that we can actually run them. Flipboard, share.flipboard.com is going to be our source. I'll have a public link for you eventually. I am not like Margaret Thatcher. No, I don't side with big business. She sided with big business. I'm a person who believes in the strength of our economy at the very ground level. Getting the core of our economy back on track is what I want to do. Helping our retail sector get back on track because it's dying on the vine right now. And I don't mean just because online sales kicked in. I mean people just they don't have any money to shop. So I have this unique idea of adding $400 to everybody's personal bottom line every month. Every single president in history has produced their tax records with the exception of Donald Trump. And I'm against the New World Order and the communists that push their agenda. I'm offering $400 a month as part of my hybrid capitalist approach. This is not a socialist endeavor. I'm not trying to take your money away. There's money in the system. In fact, frankly, we just print up money every year. The money that we're using to run our country isn't even coming from your tax dollars. You probably didn't know that. The censoring issue is massive here. I've been shut down on all different levels. Thanks for asking. We're still doing the show, though, and they don't know what to do to stop me. So we're doing it. They can't stop me. That's where it's at right now. I'll tell you if that status changes. You've been saying how the government bows down to New World Order, but now they grill Trump. The government is grilling Trump because, frankly, it's their legal requirement and obligation to grill Trump. Trump has violated laws left and right. If he hadn't been so blatantly violating our conflict of interest laws, bribery laws, Russian involvement in the election laws, the Logan Act, if he hadn't been doing this left and right, this wouldn't even be front row center on our agenda, the Russian issue. I have not checked out Mindhunter. I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to check it out. Trump is pissed off all the time. He seems to be going after people in his Twitter account. And now Twitter doesn't know what to do. They may have two-party verification, and that may affect Donald because then he'll be typing in his, "What happened? I can't get into my Twitter account. I don't understand what to do with my Twitter account." And then people will say, "Well, you have to do two-party verification. What are you talking about? I don't know how to get into Twitter. How come I can't get into?" So Twitter is really not sure what to do with Donald. If he has to get a phone call and punch a few numbers in, that may be too much for him. I think that Donald should not be allowed to, yes, he is. You're new to you know, okay. I think Donald is mentally challenged. I don't believe he can spell or write, as evinced by the word Kofifi. I heard that Capital Gains been funding, a lot of funding against this show. That's what I've heard. No, I'm just saying the mass media is just doing their job right now with Russian involvement. You people don't understand. You can't commit a crime and not do the time. Remember that movie? No, you're too old to remember. Too young to remember that. Yeah. Beretta. Don't do the crime if you won't do the time. Or something like that. I misspell words all the time, but not presidents. Presidents can't do that. Believe me, I won't make a point of tweeting on a nightly basis. Let's just put it that way. Hello, you have found me on UHF. Excellent. We have an Indian user from New Delhi. See, we have people all around the world, and even our supporters here have doubts about it. They're like, I don't believe Dave's being seen on UHF. That's just a lot of crap. But no, it really is happening. The Putin tax return shows Russian collusion. I believe you're right, Mr. Steve-O. Yeah, what happened to Old Delhi? Everyone wants to know. People in New Delhi are making more money because our markets are closing down. Lots of service-oriented jobs go overseas now. People speak English. They answer the phone. They're fairly effective at answering technical issues. So, hey, it's a competition. It's a world competition for labor right now while we convert to automation. But eventually all of us will be losing our jobs, including those in New Delhi. So bear in mind, eventually you'll have a computer answer the phone. Hello, how can I help you? One moment, please. Please allow me to take control of your computer. Please give me your passcode. If you do not give me your passcode, I can't take control of your computer. We're going to be bracing ourselves for a pretty messed up future, I'll tell you, with automation taking over. Nope, I never had a relationship with a Latvian girl. She came in, she said, hello, David. She was a big admirer. She tried to IM me on the side. I communicated a little bit, but there was nothing, to talk about other than, she's obviously trying to make a buck. I think a lot of people are exploited over in Bulgaria and Albania and Kazakhstan and Ukraine. It's hard to make money. She did tell me that the most she could make was like $5 an hour. No, she told me that her wage there was very low. You believe that this is Putin's niece, this Latvian girl? It's very interesting to you should say that. Look, and I'm not in any way a person who would ever work with Russia without the consent of this president in power. I can't even make a phone call to Russia but Donald Trump, he violated the Logan Act without getting Obama's approval to make these contacts. It's just a fact. Okay, somebody very important to some people in the show has died. John Hillerman, the Magnum PI star, has died at the age of 84. Many of you remember him from his days as the sidekick in the Magnum PI show. He passed away at 84. He died in Houston. Cause of death is not known. Yeah. Was he married? I don't think he was married. He was 84. Okay, thank you. He was a stud. I thought he was gay. Yeah, somebody told me that, but hey, I'm not saying that posthumously. He was a good man. I see the logic of what's going on. What is there to see that you can't possibly perceive? The logic is we're being censored because I have good messages I deliver every night. That's the logic. Well, I'm sorry, but calling me a snowflake is not appropriate if you expect to be in here and post links. Mueller is, whatever he is, the Republicans are going to have a hard time uprooting Mueller. Yeah, I haven't seen any indictments against Mueller on the Uranium One issue. I mean, so that's obviously dead. I'm telling you, you Republicans are grasping for straws right now because nobody's going to, speak out right now in defense of Donald Trump. I mean, everyone's going to continue to blame him. You understand, Donald Trump put himself in a very bad position. He is essentially going to be blamed for all the failures that this nation is going to be dealing with right now. I'd be in that same position right now if I were him. The question is, how is he going to deal with it? That's the question.
Well,
because right now he's not doing anything to attack Hillary Clinton, which surprised me considering the best defense is a good offense. I even said that. Why doesn't he open an investigation into Barack Obama's birth certificate?
NYPD has confirmed that a sickening pedophile sex tape featuring Hillary Clinton is about to be released to the public. What's up, everybody? Truth Seeker here. This isn't the first time I heard this claim, but it seems like it's resurfacing again to the top because stuff isn't moving fast enough. It says, according to investigative journalist Liz Crockett, sources within NYPD claim the video is the Rosetta Stone of information connecting senior politicians such as Clinton to an elite pedophile ring. According to Crockett, there is a video of Clinton engaging in a sexual act with her aide, Huma Abedin, and an underage girl.
There is a Hillary Clinton sex tape that exists, but guess what? It's not fake, okay? So, on Anthony Weiner's computer, there was a file that was titled Life Insurance. And
yeah, so far this has been an alt-right rumor that hasn't materialized about Hillary Clinton and the Podestas. The Pizzagate story is very real, and it's being suppressed in the media because it is real. And any investigation has been terminated onto Pizzagate, which will change immediately once I become president. You call it fake news. It really, it could be true. But I have yet to see this alt-right slam against Hillary and Podesta take shape. If it was life insurance for Anthony Weiner, he got a screwed deal. He got 27 months for sending a picture of himself to a 15-year-old and asking for her picture. 27 months when our former Speaker of the House, Dennis Hastert, got 15 months for sodomizing 4 boys anally. Because apparently you can orally sodomize people. Anally sodomizing 4 boys. And Dennis Hastert served 15 months and he's out now. Quietly left. Nobody even talked about it in the news. He's at home now. No, we never met at a bathhouse. I've been witnessed by a lot of people. The bloated view count is real. In fact, it's been off for a long, long time and you people didn't believe me. Okay, I've got to get into the live show. Candy's in here. Carolyn's in here. Hi, Candy. Welcome. You're the moderator there. You're Carolyn. I made Candy the moderator, but she's going to treat you with very respectfully. And you've been unable to sleep. I'm so sorry. You're going to have kidney scans. I'm so sorry. You're in such pain. Well, the sickos are going to be locked up eventually, but no, I don't have a mistress. Jeez. Yeah, make a new screen name. If some of you guys who are usernames, one of the things that you'll notice that when you go to our site at Vaughn, we have a broadcast going at americasthirdparty.com, but when you go to our site at Vaughn, sometimes your computer's fans overburn. You can hear the fans because Mark is actually using a product called CoinHive, which uses your computer while you're watching this streaming show to mine bitcoins. Isn't that unbelievable? It's just like he couldn't be any greedier if he tried. The view count finally broke. It was burdened by so many millions of people that are trying to get in here. It finally kicked into gear. The other view counters on all the other sites are broken now. We never spent any time together on Venice Beach. David, why does the media ignore and silence Pizzagate but actively pursue the Trump-Russian accusations? Why do they do their job, as you put it, with regard to Trump, but then neglect the same job with regard to Pizzagate? Because Trump doesn't have the brains to bring the Pizzagate story up. Look, I said a long time ago that Trump needs an offense. He doesn't have an offense. He should have brought up the Pizzagate story and pursued Hillary and John Podesta. He didn't. He should have prosecuted Barack Obama on the birth certificate. He didn't. It's Trump's fault. Yeah. He hasn't done anything to advance Pizzagate because he's covering for his friend Jeffrey Epstein, who, by the way, invited Trump to the Orgy Island on a few occasions. But we don't have proof of it. We have proof that Trump was high on his list on the black book of Jeffrey Epstein to call Trump, along with a bunch of other people, which we know is true. But so far we know that Bill and Hillary went to Orgy Island. Bill went over 14 times, flown with U.S. planes, government planes too. Hillary went 6 times with Bill to Orgy Island. So we know that. So they're protecting an entire pedo ring in Washington, D.C. That's more important and frankly more dangerous to both parties than the Russian thing, if you can believe that. That's like, that's the TNT story. The gasoline story and the basic dynamite story is Russia. It's too hot to deal with. That's the point. No, the media is not. The media will do whatever the media is told to do. The media is taking their orders from very powerful people who want to be protected, who do not want to be investigated. Now, they're more than willing to throw Harvey Weinstein under the bus and countless other producers, because the network of pedophilia in D.C. and Washington and Hollywood is that seriously protected that they'd rather throw a few people to the wolves than get anything like a serious indictment into what they're doing. And I'm talking about spirit cooking, drinking the blood of children. Yeah, so that's why this stuff is not being discussed. I would never go to Orgy Island. I would never go anywhere with Hillary or Bill. I believe that these dynastic presidents, including Trump and his family, really are a thing of the past, and we need to break away from the skin of this old snake of a country and grow something new, because right now it's getting a little ugly. We're about ready to shed our skin in the next 4 years and grow a new one. It makes sense when I explain it to you. I have proof of countless things. There's evidence of a kill room in D.C., underground, that's been protected. There's more than enough evidence to suggest that we need to investigate a certain museum owned by James Alefantis, which can carry live museum creatures, which could be human. Yeah, very strange things, and documentation leads us to believe that James Alefantis may not be just a pizza owner. He may even be related to the Rothschilds themselves. I take everything serious, especially this show. I wouldn't do this if I didn't take it seriously. Yeah, there's evidence that the Rothschilds may have a plant here named James Alefantis. For one, Alefantis means lover of children. It doesn't even seem like a real name. So that's an interesting allegation.